How we doing out there, traders? Let's go ahead and let's get started. Let's do the SPACs attack. All right, traders, welcome to the SPACs attack. Let's get it started. I'm really excited about today. I've been seeing some stocks moving. I've been doing some trading myself. Definitely going to keep a look on this hot market. Are we going to keep going? Where is it end? Chris, let us know what's going on in the headlines. How are we doing today, Chris?
Yeah, day before a holiday, not a ton of activity in the SPAC market. No new deals announced, but we do have some notable headlines that we'll dive into here. So Fisker, symbol FSR, stock is moving up double digits right now. They got a $26 price target from Citigroup. That's one we've talked about on the show a lot. It's an electric vehicle company. That is a stock that I own. We have mentioned it here. It is on our watch list. So that is one definitely worth watching with that new price target. We have symbol IPOB. So IPOB is merging with Opendoor. They set their merger date for December 17th. So that will be to vote on the closing of that SPAC deal. So this one is worth watching between now and that time period, as normally SPACs we'll see a lot of activity surrounding that date. And then we did have some new SPACs announced last night. I haven't had a chance to dive into all of them. So these ones are not public yet, but the one I want to draw attention to is Senior Connect Acquisition Corp. So it will trade under symbol SNRH. This SPAC is led by Richard Burke. He is the founder and former CEO of United Health, one of the largest health companies in America. And this SPAC is going to focus on the senior healthcare market. So again, you have a huge name with tons of experience attached to this SPAC, focusing on his area of expertise. So I think this is one worth watching. We will talk more about that as it gets closer to its IPO date. The SPAC deal announced yesterday, symbol SBVCF. This is an OTC stock. They announced the SPAC deal with Jay-Z in the cannabis field. This is one, it's not on a major exchange where, the majority of SPACs are. So a little different here. But Jay-Z attached to that will put some attention on it. It may also bring some attention to the cannabis SPAC side of things. Jay-Z will be the chief visionary officer of the new company. And then yesterday's big IPO we talked about on the show here, symbol OZON. So this is Ozon Holdings. This is a large e-commerce player in Russia. You could call it the Amazon of Russia. They priced at $30 and opened for trading above $42. Highly fragmented market in Russia, but huge population, and they have a high internet penetration. This company with their logistics, I think, is a key winner going forward. They can reach 40% of the country with next day delivery. This is one that I'll be watching as we kind of see how the price setting goes with the new IPO. And then I do want to give a shout out. Yesterday we talked about MindMed, MMEDF, in the psychedelic space. So if you are watching the show today, whoever left that comment yesterday, we do have an exclusive interview up on the Benzinga site. It is with Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank, who is an investor in MindMed. And then also the co-founder of that company is interviewed for that article. So one of our writers actually, is giving you the due diligence and the insight here into the company. I know there was some questions about that, so go ahead and check that out. And that's it for headlines today, Mitch.
Yeah, like always, guys, Chris bringing the information, and that's why I'll definitely leave Chris to the brains of this show. And you guys will always hear what comes out, what's coming next, and also stocks like this that you guys bring up. And MindMed, is definitely something that a lot of traders are looking at. So like always, guys, want to definitely be grateful for everyone in the chat. So we'll definitely give a shout out. We appreciate our loyal listeners, and that's really how we're going to build this show up. It's going to be about you guys. So let us know what you guys want to see, what you need information on, and I'm sure Chris will go ahead and work hard to get you that information. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and let's get into some of the watch list today, guys. Let's go ahead and take a look here at some of our watch lists. All right, guys. So we're gonna take a look here at the watch list. First things first, I'm just gonna take off these details here so that you guys can see a little bit better at the watch list itself. Let me know if that looks big enough for me there. All right, guys. So first things first, let's look at some of the ones that are moving today, right? All right. So up on the day we have Fisker. Fisker's up about 20%. We also got IPOB up here about 7.5%. IPOC about 2.2%. I think, one of the things that you saw today is some of the EV names, the China names get hit on potentially, just an investigation. And I kind of mentioned this also to one of the traders that I know is that always you got to be careful when you're trading outside of the kind of the US market. And so at the end of the day, I think what you're seeing here is maybe some rotation of some money going into a name kind of like Fisker. You're definitely seeing a jump from that buy rating. One of the great things of Benzinga Pro, guys, is that you get this why is it moving on most stocks when they have a big move. And like it says here, they got the coverage on the stock with a buy rating of $26 a share, and we're only at 19. So that definitely giving it that plus side sentiment. All right, guys, really want to quickly touch some of the stocks that we have on here. I know we have Ride, NGA, Helion. What do you know about this NGA one, and what do you think it's going to be kind of finding some sentiment here, Chris?
Yeah. So NGA, they have not announced a target yet. This is one I bought into. The rumors are circulating that they will acquire Lion Electric, which is an EV company that has deals in place with Amazon. Again, EV is the hot market right now for these SPACs. A lot of rumors circulating that name. This is one where, we thought there were going to be some announcements today, but everything's going to wait until after the holidays, it seems. It's all about who they acquire here. It has, ran up into the 11th. But this is one I'm holding and thinking that Lion Electric deal gets done. And if it does, you're going to see an immediate spike, in my opinion.
All right, guys. So really quickly, I want to go ahead and come back to some of the IPOs now, because that's really what our show is going to be a little bit more focused on today. So going to pull up the watch list for the IPO here. One of the great things is you can have multiple watch lists with Benzinga Pro and kind of set it up to support yourself, So like here, I'm going to just switch over. I have an IPO watch list that I have, and I just go ahead and add some of the stocks that I've been watching. And of course, you can always add some more here. So let's take a look at some of these and see how they're moving, see what we can see on the chart and what we can find here. All right, guys. So first one, we're going to look at our list is what we'll do is we'll just put it at what is moving. Let's find out what's moving, because at the end of the day, I'm sure, like always, guys, you guys want to know what's moving, and so that we can maybe try to find a play in there. All right, so first thing I'm noticing is snow and frog. It's kind of funny, but you can, and Chris and I talked about this before the show. I was actually mentioning these two to focus on. I feel like, you're starting to get kind of a maybe a tech rotation. So maybe pay attention to some of these bigger IPOs that kind of had a struggling point at the beginning and maybe can catch some lift here. So let's take a look at snow here. If we look at this on the chart, I want to go ahead and pull up a daily chart here. You could definitely see that, hey, we got up here towards this area before. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the chart so you guys can see here. So we got up to this area before, then we pulled back to this 240, really turned around at the 230 level, and then came back up through the 250s looking strong. So one of the things I want to see is if we can pull back closer towards this 270 area or get above 300, it's definitely going to get some lift. I think we got to keep this one on watch. A lot of people saw this one out of the IPO day. I mean, it had a high of 319 and a low of 231. So very volatile for a high price stock. So always keep that in mind. But this one, snow. What do you know about this one, Chris?
Yeah, so this was one of the most successful IPOs of 2020. That huge first day was nuts, to be up in that $300 range out the gate. One of the things I love about Pro is the calendar feature. So if you go to that, you see that Snow is going to report earnings December 2nd. That is next week, guys. So pay attention to that chart. and you see that how it's starting to run up. The story here is going to be that earnings. A lot of these IPOs, there are high expectations set on those first earnings report just because their prospectus has those, huge earnings from before. So the high expectations around this one. But I think tech and software, is going to make a run, like Mitch said. So pay attention to this one, with earnings next week.
Yeah, and then we can quickly jump into the next one here. Frog, kind of in the same kind of area here. I'm going to pay attention to see. It looks like, let's see if we have any recent news or anything from Benzinga here. Looking like there's been an offering to employees via benefit plans, so you could see some kind of real change in this market here. Let's take a look at this chart here. It's kind of interesting that we're starting to talk about these, but if you can see that turnaround from 60, to me, that looks pretty well. You got down towards the $60 price point multiple times to break down below it, and now you're kind of getting this support here. I'm going to be interested in watching this JFrog. What do you know about this one, Chris?
Yeah, I really like this one. And I like getting it here down close to where it started trading, IPO time. So one of the things I love about the company, they're used by 75% of the Fortune 100. So the biggest companies trust JFrog for end-to-end solutions. And the other thing I like is even with those big customers, they have a huge base to where their 10 largest customers only account for 8% of revenue, and no company accounts for more than 2%. So they are highly diversified across their customers. They have a huge addressable market of $22 billion based on their prospectus. This is one I like going forward. It's a software company that these large companies, they need, and they need to integrate it into their systems. So on this pullback from those IPO run up, I think this is a good one moving forward.
Oh, the old mute trick there. All right, so all right, guys. So one of the things we'll definitely keep an eye on Snow and Frog. As we can see, these had a troubled time when they IPO'd. So one of the things that I'd like to look for, and especially in IPO, is looking for the bottom. Okay, so where do investors really find that evaluation starts meeting the assets and the price there and the value, and then you'll start seeing the bigger investors start taking some positions. So I'm going to definitely watch this one. Frog looking good at the support, Snow on kind of more of a breakout. So definitely keep these two on watch. Let's go into one of the biggest and most popular one I think right now is PLTR, guys. PLTR, guys. So if we look at this one, I mean, this stock hasn't stopped. That's a simple way to describe it, guys. What I can say is simply, I mean, the chart says it all, guys. I mean, we can look here at the chart, guys, and you can clearly see it, man. This thing turned around from $12 up there now to $26.20. Definitely starting to get to that point where it's getting extended. So you got to be careful because the support could come down towards this 22 or even down towards this $20 and $18 level. So definitely be careful. Like I always recommend, know your out plan, know your targets and your risk. Too many people focus on their risk, but they don't understand that target's also something that you need to pay attention to. So definitely getting extended up there to 26.25 now. Let's see how it's doing on the intraday. Look at this intraday chart, guys. It just quickly ripped here around 8:30, got up there towards the 9:30 time, right before the bell rang. We got a nice push, and now it's been holding that level. I think $25 is going to be very important. If it can keep holding that $25, you're seeing big volume coming into this bar right here. So you could have a lot of buyers in this 25-50 area. So let's see if this can go ahead and continues on through today. What do you know about this one, Chris? And where do you think the interest is going to start slowing down? Because I've seen this one mentioned by just about every chat room, every investor that has been trading these momentum names.
Yeah, this is a huge one. Probably incorrect pricing down at that $10 level. They have a huge market opportunity, over $119 billion addressable market. They hit the government side of things and commercial side of things. Now they're becoming a catalyst with a Democrat in office. This one won a lot of contracts under previous Democratic control. They also are involved in COVID-19 tracing programs, and they did announce some new key wins during their last quarter report. Their revenue is pretty split even between commercial and government, which I think is a strong play here. Any of the companies that do over $500 million in revenue are turning to Palantir to kind of help them control things going forward. One of the things I really liked from their IPO prospectus was they said the timeliness of their software installation is a major catalyst. So it used to take 14 days for them to complete this process when they added a new customer. It now takes under 6 hours. So again, massive software that they have to install, they have to integrate into that company that they sign a contract with. That used to take 2 weeks, and now it takes 6 hours. So you can add more customers, you can get more done. They are more efficient, which leads to more contracts, more revenue, more growth. And I think that's a major point that people need to look at. These earnings reports could get better and better from this company.
Yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, at the end of the day, you're definitely seeing even just like not only we're talking momentum traders, but also long-term traders talking about this stock. And it's been one that was really watched for in to release in 2020. It's not like it's a newer hype name. I think a lot of people were watching it when it IPO'd, and as you can see, it definitely taking off here. Let's get into another one here. I want to definitely touch them all and then get to the chat, because at the end of the day, that's what the show's all about. It's all about you guys out there. So let's go ahead and let's get into Asana here. Asana has earnings confirmed right here from Benzinga Pro about 14 days from now. So we're talking Wednesday, December 9th, after the market closes. And one of the things I always look for is the stock going to run into the earnings? A lot of times what you get is what's called the price being baked in. And so one of the things that I definitely want to see is if we're going to get this price to get baked in. So let me just go ahead and pull up the chart here. Looking like we're going to get this into a daily chart. Let's get into daily. All right, guys, let me pull this one up here. Get this one going here. It's one of the things of zooming in a little too much. Trying to show you guys the best view here.
So Mitch, while you're pulling that up, I'll hit on Asana. So this is a work management, work from home play, and productivity. One of the things I like is they're integrating with other productivity companies. So they are working, with Zoom, with Slack, with Microsoft Teams. So they, some of these companies may be competitors to them, but they want to be able to make sure these companies and these workers can get the most done. So they want to hit the whole addressable market. So, they're tackling all of that. And I think that's a strong sign of growth as they integrate and they make it to where companies need to turn to Asana. They're going to be the go-to because they have all the platforms in place. This was a huge IPO, highly anticipated one. Now you saw it drop down and it's starting to trade up. Like Mitch said, look towards earnings. A lot of that growth could be baked in. But again, this is trading down below where people initially thought it should be valued when it hit the open market. And I think Mitch is on mute again. Or we having audio problems.
All right, guys, I'm back here. Sorry about that. Having a little bit of issues today. Just got to deal with it, right? That's all we can do, right? All right. So here's this chart, guys. So you see the chart. You see multiple bottoms here. One bottom there, one bottom here, and one bottom here, right? So what I see here is three bottom look. When you got that rejection and it does not breaking through the levels, a lot of times you get this swing right back up. So this is what you're seeing, the swing back up to the resistance. Now the big thing here is if we're going to get a catalyst or a volume to pop it to the next level. So that's really what I'm going to pay attention to in Asana. This is one that our CEO has mentioned multiple times, the thing behind a thing. And I really pay attention to this one because I just wanted to get it down at a good price point. So I think it's really getting near that level. And I think what you just need to do is see some catalyst or some volume truly come in. All right, guys. So one of the things I want to get into now is let's get into some of the chat. I know there's a couple mentioned. So let's go into one that we did get mentioned, which was Unity. I know we were going to touch it next, so might as well go ahead and touch it because I know someone mentioned up here. We got Chinran. We got right here. What about Unity Software? So they IPO'd around the same time, and it's up from 129 from 81. So let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at what he's mentioning here on the daily chart. So if you look at that 81 price point, you got kind of this stair step up, one up, two up, three up. It held support here, started breaking out there. So I think you got to see when you're going to get that turnaround and support to come back. You're definitely starting to extend out, but this could just go ahead and break out through there. So I think right here, and this is one of the kind of the scariest candles to see on both sides, whether you're short or long. And I'll tell you guys why. The biggest things that you want to see is in candles, sometimes you're going to see this harmony. And a harmony can signal that the trend can be ending or changing. So as we see it here on the daily here, we're starting to see a harmony. If this closes and looks kind of this same look, I would definitely be careful for a pullback towards that 120 following tomorrow. But also, if this one closes there and then gaps up tomorrow, let's say above this 132, then it could also get the momentum to keep it above that and keep it trending here. Okay, guys, so let's go ahead and catch up with the chat here. Definitely getting some shout outs here. All right, want to give a shout out to all the hard work that my fiance did on the tree. As you guys see, I actually helped this year. Working hard, gotta get the tree right, guys. So let's go ahead and let's put some tickers in the chat, guys. Put the tickers in the chat. We'll check them out here, and let's do some ticker time. All right, traders. So let's go ahead and let's find some in the chat here. I know we got a lot of mentions, so let me scroll up here, and then we'll start knocking some of these down here. I know we got a mention of let's keep going here. We got THCB. So I think we got a mention here from Alex. Let me go ahead and check this one out here. I don't really know this one. So like always, guys, what I'll do is I'll just pull up the chart, right? All right, so let's go ahead and let's pull up the chart here. All right, so what I can see is, we definitely got a push out over this 1250 level and then a pullback day, and this is why I always tell you guys, this is essentially like a harmony. When it has that small body, high wick, low wick, in between, that's called like no one knows where the trend is heading. Essentially, no one has control. And so one of the things I notice here is that you're kind of getting this sideways day. So you might see some sideways in this stock before it tries to attempt up towards the resistance. What I would see here is how many times can it hold this $11 price point so that it can build up some, what I call like that under support. And that's what I look for, is to see how it can hold towards that whole dollar here at 11. If it can go sideways for like maybe a couple days, maybe a week or two, and then get some real support, you could see this one raise back up there. All right, guys. So I did see another one in the chat. This one's a famous one. Tiger Woods in the chat here, guys. Smash the like. Smash the like. We got Tiger Woods in the house, guys. Hit the subscribe below. We got PSTH here. Let's go ahead and take a look. So, Chris, what do you know about PTSH? PSTH.
Yeah, so this is Pershing Square, the largest SPAC that's out there. Bill Ackman's SPAC. This one's been rumored for all kinds of things. So he had approached Bloomberg, Airbnb, was turned down according to reports. The biggest rumor, which also sounds like he was turned down, was Stripe, the payments company. Those rumors are starting to circulate again. This is one due to the amount of money that the SPAC raised. They are going after a huge target, and there are only so many of these large unicorns out there. So there aren't a ton of names that, really circulate. So Stripe seems to be the one, that really is being targeted. And if that gets land, I think this is a huge one. So people here are betting on Ackman. And thinking that he is going to land, a company, that will really be well received by the market. So this one's all about the future and all about the acquisition target, because until then, you're just trading, on this SPAC that doesn't have a target.
Yeah, one thing I'd mention is that whenever you kind of get these early moves, I think it's all about the hype and staying with the hype. One of the things that I always recommend is that story can change, guys. Story is everything, but it can change in a heartbeat, especially in these SPACs. And kind of the change, what ends up happening is a lot of the times, we get the merger to actually go through. And once you know the company that they're purchasing, you're going to get a whole bunch of people that are going to attack the financials, try to figure out the evaluation of a stock. And I think that's really what it comes into play. So know your out plan. If you're trying to get some kind of reward and it hits that reward, it's okay to take profits. And no one ever complains about taking profits. Now, one thing I definitely do hear often is people that were up, let's say 20, 40%, and then they let the trade go all the way back to their entry so far that sometimes these guys are ending in small red positions and they don't understand why. A lot of that's going to be not knowing your plan and not knowing the out, whether that be risk or reward. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and let's get into another one in the chat here. Definitely got a new shout out here, guys. We got a new viewer, Jackie, joining us, TRNE. So let's go ahead and let's get into some TRNE. All right, so what do you know about this one, Chris? Do you know anything about this one?
Yeah, so Trine Acquisition, a SPAC, they are merging with Desktop Metal, which is 3D printing for large industrial companies. This is one where, it's a huge one. It's backed by Chamath in that pipe. It's really all about the future of, manufacturing, being done through this method. And they're the pure play there. This isn't, an EV name or really, as big a one that's getting the love there. But once this deal goes through, I think it's going to get strong analyst support, and you're going to see it added to some mutual funds and ETFs based on, the valuation, based on the growth, based on that industry going forward. So this is one that I think is just going to kind of trade in this range until that deal goes through. But once it actually trades as Desktop Metal, once people know what Desktop Metal does, I think it starts to trade higher. So this is more of a long-term play in my mind.
Yeah, definitely. One that I'll definitely keep a watch if it holds that 1150. I think that's going to be very vital for it. You see that 1150 right there. We'll see if we can get above here, get back above 12 with some volume to push it up there. Maybe make an attempt to run towards that 13 here. Okay, guys, going to keep up with the chat here, guys. So let's go ahead and keep up. We got another one mentioned here. We already went over Ozon JK. So if you want to check that one out, just come scroll back on the show and you'll be able to check that one out. So I'm going to move on to another one that we can relate also to a SPAC. It's in the space industry. It's from Juan here. We're talking about Maxen Solar. So let's look at this one. So this is one that I've kind of taken a look at one of these, and I'll show you which one I've been looking at. But let's take a look here. One of the things that I like here is that you're seeing, this is what you call a kind of mispricing day. It was all the way up here, guys, and then the next day it's all the way down here. So definitely you saw kind of that rejection there. And then what do you see? Some volume came in here towards the 1750s, and then some volume came in here again through the 1750 level. And so volume came what? Again here. And this is what I mean by volume profile, guys. I'm showing it to you on the chart. If you actually had a volume profile chart, you would see that probably majority of the volume is going to be near that 1750. And then what ends up happening, guys? So you get a push above, right? It pulls back, gets underneath it, pushes above, gets underneath it, pushes above, holds that 1750 on this turnaround. And then you see what? A nice volume pop towards the breakout. So once it got above that $20, we did get a volume pop. I definitely would keep an eye on this one. If it could hold this as a new support, these levels here as a new support, I think you could see this one start pushing up and trying to maybe make some of this gap up. This is what we call filling in the shadow when a stock wants to go and then fill in a gap down. So we'll see if this one wants to make that run. What do you know about this one, Chris?
Mitch, I don't know that name as well. It's one that I will look into, but we're talking IPOs. So that was a solar pick. I will give you guys my solar pick, which was an IPO this year. Mitch, if you want to pull up symbol ARRY, this is Array Technologies. This was one that I mentioned during our election night coverage, down in the 36 range. It's gone up huge. This is a Biden play. Solar is going to be the thing going forward. This is the company, the thing behind the thing. They make the trackers for solar panels on the ground. They own a patent that allows one tracker or one row, all the rows to be used by one tracker, whereas other companies have to have a tracker on each row. They have a major cost advantage, a major competitive edge with that patent. They have huge contracts, huge backlog. As solar grows, this is the one I love going forward. This is one I've recommended over and over, and I will keep recommending at these levels. With Biden in office, the push for solar energy, this is the one that I think goes higher. This is my solar play for the future.
All right, guys. So another one that I'll just mention the ticker. I like. I've been watching this ticker for a little while now. SOL. And I'll keep watching this one. This was the one that I watched in the $3 price point near the same time that Chris was talking about it. And you can see it now up there in the 550s. All right, so let's go ahead and let's get into another one. So what I want to do now is I'm going to let Chris touch one more that we're going to go into a little bit longer explanation. And then I'm going to go straight rapid fire and hit as many as I can and just really quickly call out some levels. All right, so we got one from PJ, a very loyal listener out there, TLS, Chris. So what do you know about this one?
Yeah, so shout out to PJ. I know I've seen your name here in the chat before. TLS is a cybersecurity company, a very recent IPO. This is one that I like. They have huge contracts with the Department of Defense, the CIA, the FBI, Amazon.com, and Salesforce.com. I mean, talk about a customer base there. Their revenue was only up 15% in 2019, which for a company going public isn't huge growth. But they also said in their prospectus that they had large contract wins with the Center of Medicare and Medicaid for background checks in healthcare. That's a 10-year deal. And then they also landed a deal with TSA PreChecks, which again, the airline industry is hurt right now, but when it comes back, it's going to come back hard. And they are going to see huge revenue increases due to those contracts. So, I think revenue growth will be much, much higher. And I think then we might see people, get more excited about this name. So I like that one going forward. Thanks for the question, PJ. Again, recent IPO, cybersecurity, that's a great industry to be in long term right now. And that huge customer base, those huge names, I mean, that's stability right there.
Yeah, definitely want to give another shout out to PJ dropping in that $3 super sticker. You're the man, PJ. Appreciate it. Let's go ahead and let's get into some rapid fire All right, guys. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try my best to just really quickly pull up the chart, call some levels, and keep moving through the stocks. I want to hit as many as I can. So we're going to really quickly go through this. All right. I saw at the top here. I'm going to try to start as many as I can. So we got right here, Johan. We got KSHB. KSHB here. This is one that I can say that I've noticed a couple times. It trades on the OTC. One of the biggest things with this is, like, of course, you have to watch the kind of what's going to happen with the regulation. And that's really what it is with cannabis. Is really, are we going to get decriminalization? Are we going to get legalization? What states are coming next? And if you saw in the elections, we got every single one that had it on the ballot made it through. So definitely you're seeing a rise. And like I always say in cannabis, what it's all about is waves. You got the first wave, wait for the next one, and then you might just catch it. All right, guys. So let's get into another one here. Noticing, let's FSIL. There you go. This is one that I actually called out on our pre-market prep show here that trades every single morning. If you haven't seen pre-market prep, definitely check that out. It's every single morning. You can see this one, really ripped through this kind of $10 level. But if we really look back, we're coming back from a big breakout here in this $4. You kind of got that A, B, C, D move. I would maybe look to see an attempt back up there to that $10, but it's definitely getting extended. Going to need some catalyst, going to need some driver to really keep it going. This one was moving with the EV names. So if you do see EV take a step back, you got to keep an eye on that this one can do the same. All right, can you keep going here really quickly? Hit another one here, FSR. FSR, what do you know about this one, Chris? You could talk about it while I pull it up.
Yeah, FSR Fisker, we hit at the top of the show. Up huge today with that price target increase from Citigroup, $26. Electric vehicle. This is one I like going forward. This is one I own. A huge catalyst today with that upgrade. It's going to get some analyst attention. They have a huge pre-order backlog, and I think that keeps going up. They're a company that likes to issue press releases. Henrik Fisker likes to be active on Twitter, so you're going to see a lot of announcements and activity, which are catalysts for this name going forward.
All right, we're going to touch two more here. Noticing these are kind of similar, so I'm going to go ahead and touch this one up here. We got mentioned of HCAC. HCAC. So what do you know about this one, Chris?
Yeah, so HCAC, that's another SPAC. Let me pull it up here.
It's a Hennessy.
Yep. So Hennessy, Canoe, electric vehicle company. They have the skateboard design. This is one I'm not as familiar with. So I will have to look into more, and we can cover on a future show. But EV SPACs are hot. This is one, that definitely could be worth taking a look at.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye on this one. Really quickly, we'll call some levels. I see a drive up here towards that 1150s, and then it comes pulling back up one, up two, down two. We're starting to get that resistance, that third resistance build. I want to make sure that $11 holds. That's what I'd be paying attention to. If it gets back below $11, definitely look out. This one could come back down. But if it gets above here at 1150s, gets a nice catalyst, could continue on moving. All right, guys. So definitely want to give a shout out to a couple of people, definitely giving us some love here. We got a lot of people that support us every single day, and that's really what we do this for, guys. Is that we want to go ahead and support, like PJ with the super sticker. We got some good comments here. Definitely some good shows. We got a shout out from Johan, and we also got we got a new face here asking about work. I'll really quickly touch it. I like to touch new faces and what they talk about, and we can see why he brought it up here. Let's go ahead and take a look here. Look at this chart, guys. Boom, this thing's rocketing out there, guys. Man, on the 15 minutes, something's going on here. Looks like we're having news in this stock because something happened here at 11:30. So let's go ahead and take a look here, see what we can find, see if there's any news from Benzinga Pro here. All right, so it looks like we got trading halted at 11:38. We're gonna have to pay attention to this one. So work is halted. You don't see this often, so definitely a good one to mention, Chairman. I appreciate you bringing that up. Slack halted, like you mentioned in the chat. Like always, guys, hit the like, hit the subscribe below. We're gonna do this
Hey,
every
Mitch.
single day. Yeah.
Hey, Mitch. I see breaking news right now.
Boom,
It
boom.
looks like Salesforce has been in talks to buy Slack Technologies. That's according to CNBC on Twitter. So that's where that halt comes in. So again, Salesforce in talks to buy Slack. That would be huge.
Huge.
We use
Huge.
Slack here at Benzinga. It's a work management tool company, but it looks like Salesforce wants a piece of that market. So when this one is unhalted, the man, is that thing going to see some movement?
Yeah, guys, I might have to go ahead and turn on the trading platform myself, guys. So, like always, guys, if you guys want to go ahead and see us every single day, not only do we touch IPOs, but we touch SPACs, we touch them all, and we also touch some stocks that you guys want to mention. So, like always, guys, hit the subscribe bell below, and you'll be notified the moment we go live. I'll see you guys next time, like always, guys, on the SPACs. Attack! Let's do it.